All right, so we're diving into the book of Ruth today, and there's this one scene. It's pretty intense, actually.
Yeah, you're talking about the threshing floor scene, right?
Exactly. Ruth and Boaz, midnight encounter, talk about a story that's got it all. Ancient customs, bold moves, and, well, the suspense.
It's really a story that still has people talking thousands of years later.
For sure. And I think part of it is how it shows, like, what happens when social rules meet real-life desperation.
Right, you've got Ruth, she's a widow, and in that time and place, well, women didn't exactly have a ton of options.
No, definitely not. So let's kind of break this down. We've got Ruth and Naomi, her mother-in-law. They're both widows, and they're barely scraping by in Bethlehem.
Gleaning barley, that's what they were doing, picking up leftover grain. Not exactly a life of luxury.
No, not at all. And that's where Boaz comes in. He's this wealthy landowner, a relative of Naomi's deceased husband.
A potential guardian redeemer, which is a whole other concept we should probably unpack a bit.
Yeah, guardian redeemer. That sounds pretty intense. It's not just like your average family member, right?
Definitely not. Think of it as a combination of family duty, social safety net, and even some inheritance law thrown in.
Wow, that's a lot. So what do they have to do exactly?
Well, the guardian redeemer was obligated to help out family members in need. Like, if they had to sell their land, he could buy it back, or if a woman was widowed, he could marry her so the family line continued.
So basically, he was there to keep things from falling apart.
Exactly. And Naomi, she sees Boaz as a possible solution to all their problems. But her plan, well, let's just say it was pretty audacious.
Audacious, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
She tells Ruth to go to the threshing floor at night, where Boaz is working late, and basically, well, present herself to him.
It was definitely a bold move, and you have to understand the context. The threshing floor, it was this flat, open space where they separated the grain. Busy during the day, but at night, quiet, exposed. Not exactly the most discreet location.
Okay, picture it. Nighttime, threshing floor. Ruth goes down there, waits for Boaz to fall asleep, and then, well, she uncovers his feet and lies down. That's a pretty direct action.
It was, but it wasn't just random. That act of uncovering his feet, it had deep meaning in their culture.
So what was it? Some kind of secret code?
Kind of. It was a symbolic way of saying, I'm under your protection. It was a way of appealing for help, showing vulnerability.
I guess it definitely got his attention. So Boaz wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's obviously startled. He's like, "Who are you?" And Ruth, she just comes right out with it. She says, "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." What does that even mean, like practically speaking?
Oh, that phrase, spreading the corner of his garment, that was directly tied to marriage and protection. It was Ruth formally asking Boaz to take her on, legally, socially, the whole package.
And the way he responds, he doesn't get mad, he doesn't freak out. He even praises her character, which I guess means she had a good reputation around town.
It seems like her boldness was seen as brave, not scandalous. People respected her.
But then there's this twist. Right. Boaz says there's actually another relative, someone closer in line, who has the first right of redemption. So it's not a simple yes from Boaz. There are other people to consider.
Exactly. It's not just a romantic story. This is a real-life situation with legal and social implications, and Boaz, he's a man of his word. He follows the rules.
And that makes it so much more suspenseful. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Right. It's a cliffhanger.
Before he sends her home, Boaz gives her 6 measures of barley. I'm guessing that was a pretty big deal.
Definitely not just a casual gift. It was about provision, showing he cared for her and Naomi.
So we've got Ruth taking this huge risk, Boaz, a man of honor, and then this mysterious other redeemer lurking in the background. What a story.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about how people navigate tough situations.
Totally. Imagine being a widow in a new place with so much uncertainty. Would you be as brave as Ruth?
It's a question worth asking ourselves for sure.
And the coolest thing, the story doesn't even end there. We've still got the whole other redeemer situation to unravel.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other deep dive for another time.
Exactly. But for now, think about Ruth, her courage, and what it really means to step out in faith, even when the outcome is uncertain.
Because sometimes the greatest rewards come from the biggest risks.